Power does what it wants. Power does what it wants. And now they're just more naked about it. Now they just put it right out front and say, this is what we're doing to you folks. It's, you know, this country's finished. It's been sliding downhill a long time. And everybody's got a cell phone that makes pancakes, so they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to make any trouble. People have been bought off by gizmos and toys in this country, and no one questions things anymore.
Do not want you to think too much. That is why our country and our world has become so proliferated with entertainments, mass media, television shows, amusement parks, drugs, alcohol, and every kind of entertainment to keep the human mind entertained so that you don't get in the way of important people.
When a nation is in fear, they consume more and critically think less. Those in charge of the mainstream media in the United States do not want a population of citizens who are comfortable and secure in their lives. They try to scare us with this idea of terrorism, which is actually a very minor threat when considered relatively. Meme, an element of a culture or system of behavior that may be considered to be passed from one individual to another by non-genetic means, especially imitation.
A reinvented Al-Qaeda and a man some call the new bin Laden. One lawmaker says they're posing the biggest terror threat to the U.S. homeland in more than a decade. CNN's Brian Todd is working the story for us today. Brian, what are you finding out? How concerned should we be?
I think pretty concerned, Jim. I spoke with U.S. officials and to the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee today. He has got a really chilling warning. Mike Rogers says Al-Qaeda poses a bigger threat to attack inside the U.S. right now than it did before 9/11. And it's the smaller scale attacks, he says, that are the real danger. These small groups of terrorists are more likely to make mistakes, experts say, but they're also harder to detect. Because of that, Rogers says this is not the time to scale back NSA surveillance, as many in Congress want after the spying scandal.
We are talking about reducing the tools, adding more risk that we're going to miss something.
It was nearly 10 years ago. A bright September day was darkened by the worst attack on the American people in our history. The images of 9/11 are seared into our national memory. Hijacked planes cutting through a cloudless September sky. The Twin Towers collapsing to the ground. Black smoke billowing up from the Pentagon. The wreckage of Flight 93 in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where the actions of heroic citizens saved even more heartbreak and destruction.
We can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love. The eyes of fear want you to put bigger locks on your door, buy guns, close yourself off. The eyes of love instead see all of us as one. Here's what we can do to change the world right now to a better ride. Take all that money we spend on weapons and defense each year and instead spend it feeding, clothing, and educating the poor of the world, which it would many times over, not one human being excluded, and we can explore space together, both inner and outer, forever in peace.